Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. It's the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination perspective of civil services exam will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 24th of November. The first important news, that is SEBI plans to tackle the market rumors. Second, debate over GST on online gaming, casino, and racing. Our meeting was earlier held. Now, the debate is there that how a uniformity for 28% tax should be there. Issues of illegal migrations between India and UK. Fourth, cotton export may miss forecast on high prices. And the last is an editorial, fixing India malnutrition problem. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I begin this session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press a like button. So starting the session with the first news, that is SEBI plans to tackle the market rumors, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic that is government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So recently the Security and Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI, they floated a consultation paper proposing measures to effectively tackle the market rumor, and this was done in the month of November itself. So it reviewed the disclosure requirements for material events and information under the SEBI, that is the rule that is listed as SEBI Listing Obligations and Disclosure Requirement Regulation 2015. Now, SEBI has pointed out to a provisions that require companies to put forward the specific adequate replies to all rumors verification queries raised by exchanges. So there will be a proper mechanism to ensure and address if any rumors is coming out of the derivative markets. Now, this will be respect to certain information circulating on social media or any other platform. So this will include all social media, blogs, and through any means of communication that is leading to the misinformations and spread of rumors. They propose that the entity should confirm or deny any such report, events, or informations. Now, there's a need for a review. This is what the SEBI has said. So the central premise for the proposal is to ensure the timely disclosure of significant event that may have bearing on the price of a scrip. The Security and Exchange Board of India noted that while regulatory actions against the non-disclosure of event do act as a deterrent to listed entities and withhold the details of material event with a timely disclosure of very important information. So what SEBI is trying to do, they're trying a mechanism where a proper regulatory action can be taken even if the non-disclosure is there, and there will be a deterrent action which will call for penalty to the companies or an individual. Now, even SEBI ne bataya that it also seeks to ensure that unverified rumors do not shake investor confidence and affect the decision making. So if the rumors is if something that is specifically meant for any kind of benefits to the companies or just to spread a rumors to impact a market, that will be also taken care by the SEBI, and a proper penal provisions is also there. Now the proposed measures has directed towards preventing any false market sentiments, जहाँ पे जो सिक्योरिटी मार्केट से रिलेटेड जो कंपनीज है उनके बारे में खासा ध्यान रखा गया है. Recognizing the growing influence on print, televisions, digital media, and arguing the companies need to keep pace to ensure that rumors are verified and reviewed. Thus, the SEBI proposed that top 250 listed companies based on market capitalization at the end of the previous assessment year would have to clearly deny or refute with such rumors. It proposes that company discloses all the information whose expected impact in terms of value, that is 2%, either through turnover or with a net worth that is past audited with the financial year, या फिर 5% ऑफ 3 ईयर एवरेज जो है एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू में प्रॉफिट या लॉस देखी जाएगी. तो ये क्राइटेरिया रखी गई है So these companies should disclose the information of their annual turnover, and accordingly, if they are not disclosed, so the tax authority will also be informed about the mismatch and even the tax invasion that is taking place. Now, obligations on companies की अगर बात करें, the companies need to disclose actions initiated by the regulator, statutory or the enforcement or judicial authority against any of its directors, key manager persons, senior management, promoters or subsidiary in any relation with any entities. अगर किसी भी management level पे किसी पे भी inquiry हुई है, then the company has to disclose that. And these may include the investigation, suspension, imposition of the penalty of fine, settlement of proceedings, debarment, sanctions, warning, search, seizure, default of the payment and fine, penalties. So these will be the all criteria that will be taken into consideration if any part of the management are involved in such. Now, mentioning measures would thus prevent information asymmetry as it would streamline access to verified informations. Moving to the other news, that is debate over GST on online gaming, casinos, and racing, something important for General Studies Paper 3, under the subtopic that is Indian economy, issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth, and development. The ministry panel formed for casinos, race courses, and online gaming, that is with regards to the imposition of goods and services tax, the regime is likely to reiterate its stances of uniform 28% tax rate for three categories irrespective of their game or skill or chances. This was a recommendation that was earlier given by the group of minister, right? And this particular group has already recommended for a uniform tax of 28%. The financial call about the valuation mechanism, however, will be taken by the GST Council, और जो GM के members हैं उनकी opinion different है when it comes to the levying of tax of 28% uniform tax. The panel, which is expected to meet recently to fall back the initial report that will be presented before the GST Council. This was actually presented also. Now, if any further consultation is being done with the Council, the same will be reiterated. This will imply a hike of the rates on the online gaming as well as online platform, which is currently 18%, and the GOM has recommended a 28% flat rate of GST for all this thing. Now, online gaming industry की बात करें, the online gaming industry has grew exponentially during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the latest study that was done by the Ernst & Young and ASCOM, the online gaming currently contributes more than 200 crore rupees for the GST as a percentage. Now, as per the KPMG reports, the online gaming sectors would grow to 29,000 crore for 2024 and 25, and currently this is at 13,600 crore rupees. Most of the state in the GOM are learned to have converged in the favor of 28% of the tax rate, that is for the valuation mechanism. So the consensus has already been made by many of the states with a part of the GOM to impose 28% taxes rate. While the West Bengal and Uttar Pradesh has supported the taxation for the value, and the Goa has recommended a tax on entry point for the casinos. Now, views of all states की अगर बात करें, see for imposition of any taxes there need to have a consensus, और consensus के लिए सारे states के views जरूरी हैं. So what is the views of the state? The views of the state will be incorporated in the final version of the report and will be presented before the council in the next meeting. Possibly before budget session, this is expected that a meeting is scheduled. The GST Council has not met since June, and the State Finance Minister will meet the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Friday for the pre-budget discussion where the GST related issues is likely to come up. Now, GOM की क्या version रही है GST के rates को लेकर के, because there was a meeting that has already happened for the month. Earlier, 8-member ministerial panel, which was headed by the Meghalaya Chief Minister, has submitted the report, and the council, which was taken for the discussion meeting, was held actually in the month of June itself. The GOM has recommended a uniform rate of 28% on casino, race, and online gaming, with no distinctions based on whether the activity is game, skill, or both. After the 47th GST Council meeting, which is held in June, the GOM was given 15 days extension concerning the casino raised, which was primarily by the state of Goa. तो देखना होगा गोवा की क्या consensus बनती है in terms of the rate, because casino are very high in Goa. Imposing such rate will definitely call for less tourism, and even it can be detrimental for the tourism in Goa, which is contributing a larger to the state revenue. Now, discussion on valuations की बात की गई है. For valuation in the case of casino, GM has suggested GST that is pre-applied of 28%. That is again the point, which is also applicable in the chip coin purchased from the casino players, and the GST that is levied on the chip coins on the face value, right? It also suggested 28% GST on service by the way of access and entry to casinos payment, an entry fee with a compulsory including the price and supplies of the food and beverages. So this will also include the food and beverages that is served in the casinos. Now, horse trading and gaming, the GOM has recommended a conclusion that GST will be levied on the face value, that is a bet. During the bet time, 28% of the rate will be imposed. Cotton exports may miss forecast on the high prices, something important for General Studies Paper 3 under the subtopic, that is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. According to the recent estimate by the Committee on Cotton Productions and Consumption Trade, cotton export this year will shortfall for like close to 40 lakh bales, and the export inquiries that are poor in India's cotton still about 10 cent pound too expensive compared to the other world cotton. तो इंडिया की जो कॉटन है comparatively excess मानी जाती है, expensive मानी जाती है in terms of comparison with the world cotton prices. The cotton arrival in November usually surpass 1.5 bales a day, and at present 1.5 lakh to 1.3 bales are being produced a day. In several areas, the shonen harvesting has already been delayed, and further farmers will be wait for price to improve. So there's a holding also that took place. So you cannot hold for a longer duration of time. It has to be sold out, but farmers are definitely looking for a price which is sustainable for them as well. Cotton industry in India की अगर बात करें, cotton industries is the largest organized sector in the country. It grew tremendously during the last 4 decades. Our industry is almost 16% of India's capital के हिसाब से grow करी, and even it has more than 20% of India's industrial labor. If you talk about the states' performances, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Rajasthan, and Punjab are some of the major cotton producing states in our country. The pest resistance, that is the genetically modified BT cotton hybrids, have captured Indian market, covering 95% of undercotton since their induction in 2002. So this has been given approval by the Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee, which is also known as GAC. So approval के बाद ये सारी चीजें allow की गई. Even GM mustard has been approved. In context of cotton, this is something very important which can be a game changer and which is working, helping the farmers or the concerned people who is associated with the cotton industry. The major producers की अगर बात करें वर्ल्ड में, so China, then India, United States of America, Brazil, Pakistan, Turkey, Uzbekistan and C4 countries are part of it. And in terms of exporter, US is exporting, Brazil, then India, Australia and C4 countries. If you specifically talk about India, there are 10 important states that are producing cotton. These are the states with the color code that include Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana and Punjab. And cotton produced in India, so these are the data for 2017-18. This is in the base, right? So 370, 333, 365, 352 and 340. So number have bit decreased, but definitely the government is expecting that in due course of time, this pace will also take. But at this point of time, the trend is on a declining side. Issues of illegal migrations between India and UK, something important for General Studies Paper 3. That is effect of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interest and India's diaspora. This is actually important for General Studies Paper 2. You can count it as important as a General Studies Paper 2. The United Kingdom government has said that after finalizing a deal with India, it is not contingent on taking back Indians who are illegally residing in the country. And on a separate issues, the migrations and return in the United Kingdom made a huge progress, particularly after agreement made between the both countries in May 2021 and the cooperation between the countries which took place when Boris Johnson was a prime minister and India's prime minister has visited the United Kingdom. माइग्रेशन एंड मोबिलिटी पार्टनरशिप की अगर बात करें, यूनियन कैबिनेट ने 2021 में अप्रूव किया था MOU वेयर द माइग्रेशंस एंड मोबिलिटी पार्टनरशिप वाज साइंड बिटवीन इंडिया एंड ग्रेट ब्रिटेन एंड द नॉर्थ आइलैंड. और पार्टनरशिप कुछ स्पेसिफिक चीज़ों को हाईलाइट करती है, लाइक लिबरलाइजिंग द इश्यूज ऑफ वीज़ा, promoting mobility for student, research and skilled professional. Second, strengthening the cooperation on issues related to irregular migration of human trafficking between the two sides. MOU can support the innovation system in both countries by facilitating free flow of the talent. Now, Minister of External Affairs would closely monitor the effective implementation of the MOU through the Joint Working Group mechanism. Now, FTA की अगर बात करें, if you talk about the free trade agreement between India and UK, the trade deal between India and UK was expected to be completed by the month of October, and even it has stretched out to December, but progress नहीं हुई है because of the political and economical crisis that is ongoing in UK, although the stability is there after the new government. But it is expected that now the government will look forward to have the resolution of this FTA by March 2023. The trade agreement between India and Britain will aims to double the bilateral trade of 2030. The government sources claim that 14 of the trade agreement, that is 26 chapters, has been completed, and visiting UK delegation will attempt to reach out the agreement more specific details on remaining chapters. Under the free trade policy, goods and services can be brought and sold across the international border, and even titles with the no government tariffs, quotas, subsidies, and prohibitions on inhibiting their exchanges. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, fixing India's malnutrition problem, something important for General Studies paper 2, under the subtopic that is issues related to development and management of health. Now, what are the theme under this editorial? So first is about the malnutrition in India and the GHI. We'll look into the relevance of the GHI, backs to basics, कैश ट्रांसफर की जो स्कीम है कैसे वो हेल्प कर रही है, उसके अलावा इश्यूज एंड स्कीम दैट आर नॉट डिलीवरिंग, दैट इंक्लूड पोषण 2.0 एंड PM पोषण, उसके अलावा वे फॉरवर्ड. So talking about the Global Hunger Index 2022, India's position has dropped this time. India has reached up to 107 position out of 123 countries from the earlier position of 101 in 2022 Hunger Index, right? So earlier India's ranking was a bit higher. Now it has dropped to a position of 107. In 2021, India's rank was 101 out of 116 countries. Prior to that, the country was ranked 94th position among the 107 countries. GHI, that is a Global Hunger Index, has brought more unwelcome news for India. And as far as its global rankings is concerned, its vital indicator also taken into consideration that include human development. But if you talk about the government of India, they have categorically rejected the methodology that the Global Hunger Index is actually reporting. Now, relevance of GHI की अगर बात करें, why it is important and how the relevance can be taken. GHI is an important indicators that include the part of nutrition, particularly among the children, also stunning, wasting and mortality among the children, calorie deficiency across the populations. The India's National Family Health Survey, that is NFHS 5, for 2019 and 21 has said that the children below the age of 5 is 35.5% were stunned, 19.93 shows wasting and 32.1% showed underweight. So this is an important data that you can use in the mains examination, right? So the latest data of National Family Health Survey 5 is very much relevant. Now we need to look into the basic part where actually India is lacking. So precisely talking about the malnutrition, India has been in the surge of several years for now. This malnutrition problem has continued for decades. Political battle over the malnutrition are not going to help, nor it's continuing thinking in a silos. So government definitely need to have a proactive measures to ensure that the malnutrition practices which is prevalent in the country should be drastically reduced. It clears that the malnutrition persists due to depressed economic conditions in the large part of the country, poor states of agriculture, persistence level of unsafe sanitation and practices. There are other major factors that contribute, but these are some of the prominent factors that is contributing. Now कैश ट्रांसफर की अगर बात करें, कैश ट्रांसफर गवर्नमेंट ने स्कीम स्टार्ट की थी वेयर इट हैज प्लेड अ मेजर रोल स्पेशली टू द रीजनल एक्सपीरियंसेस acute distress where household purchasing power were depressed. Now they will be directly getting, the beneficiaries will be benefited with the cash transfer in their account, and there will be no middlemen involved in this. The cash transfer can also be used to incentive behavior changes in terms of seeking greater institutional support. The cash transfer seems to be favored solutions for several social sector intervention. This include the health and nutritional sector as well. Much is made in the JAM Trinity, that is the Jan Dhan bank account, Aadhaar, and mobility. So government is integrating everything with the JAM Trinity to ensure that transparency, and the beneficiary should be getting the right amount at the bank account. Equally appealing is the characteristic of the cash transfer and mechanism that yield the rich political dividends. Cash also has the advantage of expanding the choice for the household level as they make decision what put on their plate. Now, some government scheme that is actually not up to the mark and not performing as it was anticipated. The expert have suggested that several approaches to address the problem of chronic malnutrition, many of which has featured in the central sponsored scheme that is already existing. Now, पोषण की अगर बात करें, the government of India has implemented the Saksham Anganwadi and Prime Minister overreaching scheme for holistic development. This now includes the integrated child development, which seeks to work in adolescents, girl, pregnant women, nurses, and even the child below 3 years of ages. However, the budget of this scheme was for 2022 and 23, that is, was 20,263 crore rupees, which is less than 1% more than the actual spending and increased by 1% over the year. But the amount that is spent is very low, and the usability, the reachability for this amount, again reaching out to the beneficiaries, will be definitely low because the allocation need to be there on the highest side. Now, PM Poshan is another significant scheme of the government of India with Pradhan Mantri Poshan Shakti Nirman. It was also known as midday meal scheme earlier. It was a part of national program for midday meal in school. The budget for this was 10,233, which was 21% lower than the expenditure which was there for the earlier budget, that is for 2020 and 21. Even if you expect that this was exceptional year due to COVID-19, it is clear that the budget that has been allocated nowhere as something बहुत ही काफ़ी कम है. 26% or 21% decrease is a higher number, and this required to improve the nutritional status of our country. If midday meal budget is not improved, the reachability and the beneficiaries for this scheme will be on the lower side. Now, way forward की अगर बात करें, they need to have a comprehensive program training for the adolescents girl that is required if an intergenerational nature of malnutrition is taken into account, and we need to ensure that the marginalized section of the society, girls and even the child for the adolescent age, need to be taken into consideration because their nutritional status is very important. The need of the hour is to make addressing the child malnutrition and the top priority of the government machinery all around the year. And a long month Poshan Utsav may also be the optimist way where no substitute for the painstaking every day of the work. So government should also come up with the awareness campaign. ASA worker की अगर बात करें, they can be a very important source of inspirations and information share in terms of the nutritional program that government is actually coming up with. And these people can also help government in getting the right data about the deficient beneficiaries. So this is how coordinations and cooperation is required, and finally the implementation of the program will help at the final success. Moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of your study questions. For first question, the correct option is A. For second question, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ for practice. First, quadrilateral security dialogue के बारे में आपको बताना है. It's an informal strategic dialogue between India, United States of America, Japan, and Australia. It aims to ensure a support-free and prosperous Indo-Pacific region. So yesterday also there was a discussion about Quad, and Quad is something that is very important for the prelims examination. You can get a question, so it's better that you practice and read more about the Quad. That will be relevant for the examination purposes. Second is about the Sambar Lake. This is important for geography as a static and current contemporary issues. This is an inlet saltwater lake in the world, the largest. It represents the depressions of Aravalli ranges. So do check it out. The basics as well as conceptual question as a part of geography in the prelims examination. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.